now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Keep on.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, your host and White House correspondent, broadcasting live in afternoon drive time from our nation's capital. I'm in touch, and so you be in touch. Follow me on social media, Dr. Nii-Quartelai. Just type in Dr. Nii-Q, DRNIIQ, and I pop right on up, fresh for you to follow. You ain't got to remember all 19 letters of my name. I'm just giving you a few. Also, be sure to download the KBLA app if you haven't already. That way you can listen to us live or on demand, or because we're fancy like that, you could just tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580, and there we are. Last but not least, subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. That way, you will never, ever, ever miss an episode. I want to take the opportunity to lift up some incredible work that continues, really lifting up the voices of leaders in Altadena that are on a long road to recovery. There's a soil testing town hall that's happening tomorrow. It's happening Thursday, August 14th. It's being put on by the folks over at LA Fire Justice in collaboration with some other folks. Our very own James Farr. He is the host of KBLA's Conversations Live Altadena Rising. He will be moderating a conversation with Erin Brockovich. Yeah, Erin Brockovich is about that life. She has been an advocate for environmental justice for a long time, taking on PG&E back in the day. They've made a movie about it. I think it was Oscar award-winning, if not Oscar nominated, starring Julia Roberts. Erin Brockovich will be there for this soil testing town hall. Refreshments will be served starting at 6 p.m. The conversation will start at 6:30 p.m., a Q&A at 8 o'clock. And so run, don't walk to this event. It's taking place at the Salvation Army, 960 East Walnut Street in Pasadena, California. And again, hat tip to my friend, my brother, James Farr, for keeping the consciousness high around impacts to the people of Altadena. All right, now it's time for your national news roundup. It's time for you to decide the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. And kicking us off, look, we all got to tango with the IRS. We all got to do it. And the challenge is, who's there to tango with us? You see, USA Today is reporting that the IRS has had 6 leaders, count them, 6, in 2025. Let's talk a little bit about what that means for taxpayers. You see, the IRS is on its 7th commissioner of the year and has lost 1/4 of its staff, and it's faced with implementing a raft of new regulations. Whether and how this turmoil could affect Americans, it remains unseen, but the first effects are likely to be lower tax collections and a harder time getting answers to tax-related questions. That's according to former commissioners and policy analysts. The IRS got its 7th leader of the year on August 8th when President Trump tapped Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent as its temporary head after removing Commissioner Billy Long. You would think the Treasury Secretary has a big enough job. That's a big job. And now he's also the IRS commissioner. Similarly, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he is the USAID administrator, and he's also the national security advisor. I get a little worried when people got a little too much work on their desk. I worry about how well that work is getting done. The IRS media office referred USA Today to the Treasury Department, which didn't return a comment. And so hopefully that is not a sign of what is to come. But Long, who said he would be nominated ambassador to Iceland, was the 5th person picked by Trump to lead the agency, regaining the Oval Office in 2025, but only one approved by the Senate. And so, we don't want anything getting funny with the money. And so having all these IRS commissioners, we got to keep our eye on it. All right. Moving along, NPR reporting that a record number of lawmakers aren't planning to run for re-election. Did you hear this? Since President Trump returned to the White House this year, a record number of members are eyeing the exit as the Republican-led Congress has largely ceded its power to Trump's vision of the country. With just under 15 months to go until the 2026 midterms, 9 senators and 21 House members have announced that they don't plan to run for re-election, each a modern record for this point before the election. As of August 12th, there will be 470 congressional seats on the ballot in 2026, all 435 House seats, 33 regularly scheduled Senate contests, and 2 special elections to fill remainders of Senate terms in Ohio and Florida. And so we are going to be keeping a close eye on that. The stakes could not be higher for our country. Finally, we have a report from NPR. I'm sorry, from Daily News. Really, it's an op-ed that LA Mayor Karen Bass and LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger recently released, calling out insurers, saying that insurers need to step up for LA wildfire survivors. It's been 7 months since the most destructive wildfire in LA County's history. And for thousands of survivors, a terrible struggle persists. One against delays and underpayments and indifference from core institutions that are meant to help people recover. The wildfires, of course, erupted on January 7th, tragically killing 31 people and damaging more than 16,000 structures across LA County, from the Pacific Palisades to Malibu to Altadena, changing lives and the landscape in LA forever. We know that rebuilding is underway, but a new report by the Department of Angels reveals that 70% of insured Eaton and Palisades fire survivors, they're facing delays. They're facing denials. They're facing underpayments that are derailing their recovery and preventing them from making basic decisions about their future. And so it's not enough just to hear from the mayor of Los Angeles and an LA County supervisor. We all need to make sure that we're attentive to this, because today it's LA County. Tomorrow it may be your county or a county near you. When we come forward, I'm looking forward to being in conversation with Al Reynolds and Isaac Wilson. They are joining us again by popular demand, helping us separate the fact from the fiction and go beyond some of the biggest trending headlines today. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More with Al and Isaac live here in Washington, D.C.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
We have no permanent friends or permanent enemies. Only permanent interests as we effort to build a more perfect union.
Fact that I still currently right now have men and women who are deployed overseas doing operations. This is something that I take very seriously, particularly as someone who's worn the uniform, particularly as someone who's had to say goodbye to my family, particularly as someone who has had to trust the judgment of the commander-in-chief, knowing that the decision that they made was one that had not just the best interests of the national security in mind, but the best interests of me and my family. And so all I'm saying is this, is if we want to have a serious conversation about violent crime, we can have a serious conversation about violent crime. And I would love to be able to share the multitude of things that we are doing in the state of Maryland, where we are surging support for local law enforcement, surging support for predictive analytics and technologies, surging supports for community groups, and allowing more supports for the mayor and the county executive and the people on the ground doing the work. And we were able to receive some really encouraging and historic results in Baltimore and around the state of Maryland. And I never once had to mobilize the National Guard in order to accomplish those feats.
Governor, it's a different war now. There's more brothers dying here in these cities than overseas. So isn't it fair to have them there? And it's Democrats that agree with this measure. Don't take my word for it. The local cop there, the police chief, agrees with this. The mayor of the city agrees with this. And it's because people that look like me and you are dying.
No one needs to explain to me the pain that is taking place in so many communities. No one needs to explain to me the pain that is taking place in so many communities, urban, rural, and suburban, who are being besieged by this issue of gun violence, who's being besieged by this issue of chronically and generationally not feeling safe inside of your neighborhoods. And it's the reason that we have made it our top priority to make sure that people are feeling safe. But I can tell you right now, what people want more than anything in those communities is they don't want performative, they want performance, right? They're not looking for someone to walk around with military fatigues and a big gun. They're looking for someone who actually understands how to make people feel safe and how to make people actually safe in their communities. Our National Guards are not trained for this. I'm very specific about my role as Commander-in-Chief of the Maryland National Guard, and we know the missions that they are trained for, and municipal policing is not one of them.
So I'll tell you
so
this.
If we want to be serious about making people safe, let's actually do the things that make people safe.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Corte. And listen, we were just listening to a soundbite from Maryland Governor Wes Moore on Fox News, responding to this narrative out there that Washington, D.C. is under siege, and cities like Baltimore City in his state of Maryland are under siege. I can tell you that as somebody who lives in Washington, D.C. and L.A., that's not my experience, but I don't know. Maybe one of our resident guests has a different experience. I suspect not. I want to welcome Dr. Al Reynolds to the show, our pop culture and entertainment contributor, along with Isaac Wilson, who is the former Democratic chair of Florence County, South Carolina. He's also a Democratic strategist, and the dynamic duo is back again. Welcome, gents.
Brother Wilson, you got to take yourself off of mute. You know, it's nothing like a Phi Beta Sigma on your panel. Don't know how to work the.
He's starting already. He's starting already.
He already starting up. Well, listen.
Like a Sigma brother coming up here on mute. You know what?
So Al, you know, I want to ask you about your reaction to Governor Moore's remarks on Fox News. Really doing his best to push back against this narrative that somehow public safety in cities like DC and Baltimore are out of control and necessitate a federal intervention of epic proportion. What's been your experience as a resident of DC and Maryland?
Listen, let's go back to the first question. Governor Wes Moore, in what I saw, this was a schooling lesson to the Fox News with that mic drop moment. And to me, it was pure Black excellence. I love watching people in leadership, especially the same hue as me, read a person and read it with the most sophistication, facts filled, everything that just lets you know that you better have heard what he said. Now, this is what I felt. Moore didn't just debunk the safety myth. He liberated it. I mean, with the calm precision of a seasoned professor like myself. Maryland's homicide rate dropped 13%, Dr. Nii-Quartelai, and that is under his watch. While violent crimes across comparable states have rose, numbers don't lie, right? But in this administration, we're seeing how spin is trying to do that. He looked straight into that camera and made it very clear that safety is not about catchy slogans. It's about accountable policies, it's about community trust, and it's about evidence. And that's something that we're not seeing here in the districts. That's how you flip the script. And Fox couldn't handle it. You saw the guy was speechless. You saw he couldn't figure out a way to get in there and try to twist his words. Instead, he had to listen. Big props up to Governor Wes Moore. He's flexing that policy muscle on national TV. To me, was balm for the soul and a blueprint for how Black leadership can flip TV narratives.
Isaac, there are a number of Democratic governors, a number of rising stars in the Democratic Party who have not been as direct in confronting the public safety myth as Governor Moore has been. How do you assess his performance on Fox News? And are other Democratic leaders a little too late to the party?
Yeah, they're very late to the party. I am proud of Governor Westmore for standing up to Donald Trump and his minions. And basically he's saying that, I'm saying no to politics when it's disguised as public safety. We're not going to do that. Maryland doesn't need the military theatrics that Donald Trump wants to play. And so Governor Westmore just said, we're not going to play your game. We're not playing soldier for your photo op right now. So I'm going to show you what real leadership looks like. And he went to Fox News and he took it to them. And I think more governors need to do that. And it seems like him and Gavin Newsom are the only ones that are standing up, but he took it real hardcore. And I felt the line he said the most was more important was he said, you don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me. I've been there and I've lived it as a black man in this country, but also I've lived in the shoes that these people are doing. So you don't have to tell me that. So I thought that was very profound to say I've been in those shoes and I'm not going to play this game with y'all.
Brother Isaac, I thought what he did a good job was he said, you need to listen and learn and do as I do. That was the best part to me. If you want results, do what I did in the state of Maryland. Look at my success record. Look at the crime-ridden communities that I manage. Mm-hmm. Do what I do. Because all this theatrics that you're doing, sir, no, sir, we're not having it. I enjoyed everything.
Thanks, but no thanks. We already have a plan.
So speaking of Gavin Newsom, ABC News reporting that Newsom says that California is to draw congressional maps to end the Trump presidency. California Governor Gavin Newsom, he said that California will move forward with drawing new congressional maps that will end the Trump presidency and allow Democrats to take control of the U.S. House of Representatives. The announcement comes amid Texas Republicans' efforts to redraw congressional maps in their party's favor. The redistricting showdown in Texas has led blue states to threaten to retaliate, with Newsom proposing to cut 5 GOP-held seats in California. Is Gavin Newsom doing the right thing, or will this aspiring presidential candidate live to regret it? Al?
Hey, listen, Governor Newsom just posted in all caps that California would draw new congressional maps. He said, quote, that will end the Trump presidency. Now, that's the type of leadership that I like. That's the type of bold move that I like. That's the type of messaging that I like. And it's not just bold. It's a direct political threat. Blue states aren't playing defense anymore. They're going on an offense. And like we talked about this 2 weeks ago, that's what we're looking for. That's what we need. We have a presidential administration that is wiping away the basic decencies of Americans, and it has to stop. But let's add context now. California's independent redistricting commission was created to curb gerrymandering. So changing that mid-decade, that's like rewriting the rules while you're playing. That's legally dicey and that's politically explosive. But listen, it's a chess move, not just for seats. It's for the soul of the Democratic norm and for the citizens of the state of California. Partisan, yes. Effective, maybe. But don't act like this is a civil rights issue. This is about raw, modern, political muscle war. And I cannot get enough of it from Governor Newsom.
Isaac, I've got to ask you, how do you think this is going to impact the 2026 midterm elections? Is this potentially an overreach by a very visible, pretty popular Democratic governor? Could this backfire on Democrats, not just in California, but across the country?
I don't think it backfires. I think the Democrats across this country are saying, fight back, and that's what we're doing. Fight back. Like, stop letting them punch you. Fight back. So I don't think it's going to be a blowback. I think people are going to come to the front lines and say, okay, Gavin, you started this fight. Now here come your brothers and sisters coming to help you fight because they ain't about to jump you. So we're going to get in on this fight with you. And I don't know if he can do that or not. I don't know. But it sure will scare the hell out of damn Republicans, and they might draw back in Texas and say, hold on, y'all, we need to pull back on what we're doing because I didn't think they were going to do this. They actually got some fight power. So I don't know if it's a scare tactic. I don't know if it's something he can do, but it damn sure I like it.
We didn't know that Sigmas could be formed either after the best fraternity ever, but you got it done. You got it done, Brother Wilson. So I'm loving the fact that the president has done a lot of things that we didn't think that were legal. Mm-hmm. He has made it legal, and he has done it. Being a felon as a president, is that legal? We don't know, but we got one, and not just on 1 or 2 counts, but on multiple counts. I love the fact that our Democratic cohorts are saying enough is enough. We're taking off these blue gloves and we're putting on some boxing gloves to take on anything that you guys are pushing our way. You are stripping us of our rights. You're stripping us of our LGBTQ rights. You're stripping us of our African-American rights. You're stripping us of educational rights. You're stripping us of everything that you don't like in order to instill this fear in us. And we've had enough. And I think that anybody that thinks outside of the box in the Democratic Party, they're going to get the support that they've been deserving for decades, because we are tired, Dr. Nii-Quartelai, Brother Isaac. We are tired and we are scared. And we have to draw a line in the sand somewhere, because this no longer can continue to happen. We haven't even rotated out of the first 12 months of this administration, and he's created a narrative with our politics, with our constitutional, that is not only just disgraceful, but it's downright unconstitutional.
I'll hold that thought. When we come forward, we've talked enough about Democratic governors that are at least leading this news cycle. When we come forward, we're going to talk about Mayor Muriel Bowser of Washington, D.C. She wants to make Trump's takeover useful for D.C. amid democracy concerns. We want to sort of read the tea leaves, and
you might want to mute me
and see if Mayor Bowser has the politics just about right. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward with Democratic strategist Isaac Wilson and pop culture contributor Al Reynolds.
The audience is listening. Thought-provoking, eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. U.S. track star Sha'Carri Richardson is apologizing after her July arrest for allegedly hitting her boyfriend, Olympic gold medalist Christian Coleman, at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. Richardson says past trauma kept her from fully accepting his love, adding, quote, "I can't apologize enough," end quote. Coleman has defended her, saying she should not have been arrested. Wendy Williams' court-appointed guardian confirmed her diagnosis of dementia and aphasia and is seeking to extend her guardianship to November 2025, despite challenges from her family and former husband. Williams denies cognitive impairment and says she's determined to regain her freedom and remain in New York. And former Governor David Paterson is backing Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams for re-election, despite a Siena poll showing Adams in fourth with 7%, far behind Democratic frontrunner Zohran Mamdani at 44%. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Heads up in Long Beach. There's a dog running around on the 405 southbound just past the 710 freeway. It looks like traffic is stopped as a result. With huge delays all the way out of West LA from Santa Monica Boulevard. We're also looking at the 605 in Norwalk. Northbound delays leaving the 105 to the 10. And southbound slowing from the 60, heading back to the 5. Ortega Highway remains closed. That's Highway 74. Eastbound, they'll cut you off at Antonio Parkway out of Rancho Mission Viejo. And westbound is shut down at Grand.
Spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties, starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Venus Williams, at age 45, was given a wild card invitation to play in the U.S. Open tennis tournament in New York City. The U.S. Open starts Sunday Sunday. Venus will be the oldest woman to compete in the singles competition of the U.S. Open since Renee Richards in 1981. Richards was 47. This will be the first Grand Slam event for the Compton native since 2023. The 7-time Grand Slam champion won the U.S. Open in 2000 and 2001. The Dodgers and Angels meet up for the final time this season tonight in Anaheim. The Angels are 5-0 against the Dodgers. Critical game for the Dodgers to regain some momentum. The Dodgers start a 3-game series Friday night against San Diego. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury during warm-ups Wednesday morning. He was held out of the Brown practice with Philadelphia. Sanders was scheduled to undergo an MRI exam Wednesday afternoon. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for Black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words, "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hit me! National news, the consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, live here in our nation's capital, where the tension is continuing to grow. I noticed today more of a police presence. I'm seeing more National Guard, particularly around the National Mall, 14th Street, Northwest, Benning Road, Northeast. And so these are 2 very different parts of the city. I saw a video and images of law enforcement in Georgetown as well. And this is supposed to go on for at least 30 days. The president said today that he intends on asking Congress for an extension on this. And so what's happening in Washington, D.C. could very well be happening to a city near you, if not the city that you're in. Here to separate the fact from the fiction, we're joined with Isaac Wilson. He is a Democratic strategist and former Democratic Party chair in Florence County, South Carolina. And then we have our friend Al Reynolds, Dr. Al Reynolds. He is our pop culture and entertainment contributor, and always helping to keep our finger on the pulse of like what's trending in the culture. Yeah, you know, on one hand, it's what's happening in the world of politics, but there's always folks that are shaping our culture. And sometimes we hit the center of that Venn diagram where politics is shaping the culture. And it's no doubt that that is happening right now here in Washington, D.C. And so, gents, I've got to ask you, how would you assess the performance of Mayor Bowser? She is in a very precarious position where, unlike mayors in other cities across the country, there's no governor here. There are no senators with a vote here. There are no members of Congress with a vote here. It's a very unique relationship between the federal government and the District of Columbia because it's not a state. And there's not much that she can do to fight back. Al, you are here in the DMV area. How would you assess at least the first couple of days of how Mayor Bowser's been handling this?
I have to push back on you, Dr. Nii-Quartelai, in this situation that there's not much that she can do. There's absolutely a lot that she can do. Mayor Bowser is out here, in my opinion. I'm very emotional about this because I'm living in the district. I was walking to dinner tonight, and I saw in City Center, I saw 150 FBI and Secret Service agents having a meeting in this side corner underneath this building, like hiding themselves. As I walked by, I noticed that I did not see out of those 150 servants of the United States, not one person of color. That concerned the hell out of me. Mayor Bowser, she's out here framing the federal takeover as DC like it's an opportunity. And I've got to be real. That feels like that just doesn't feel realistic to me. DC has one of the highest voter turnout rates in the country. They are very proud to say that 60%, it's actually not, it's more than 60%. I think it's like more than 65% in the last mayor election came out to vote. So our residents here, we're not passive. I know that about DC. I'm new to DC, but I'm learning DC residents are not passive. They know democracy. They practice democracy, and they know it's being put under the federal thumb. Now, to her credit, she says she's looking to make it useful, like mine resources and leverage the moment. That's the spin. But let's not ignore the optics. We have to be very honest about the optics here because this president is winning on optics. This could also be read from an optics standpoint as bowing down to political pressure from a president she might just be afraid of to publicly confront. That's what it feels like to me. And if that's the case, I got to tell you, I love Mayor Bowser, but that's not leadership. That's survivable. Now, this is what I will do because I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this. And even Brother Wilson, I am willing to give her grace here because maybe this is three-dimensional chess and she's playing the long game. All right? If she turns this intrusion into tangible wins for DC residents, I'll clap for her. But until I see receipts, I'm side-eyeing this. Mayor, are you negotiating or are you just negotiating us? That's the question that I need. But I'm going to throw this to someone who obviously has taken people from grassroots to national presence and let me lean into what he's got to say about this strategy that she's employing that for me in this district has me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, before we get Isaac's take on it, I just want to make sure that our leaders, owners, and listeners are clear that the role of mayor of DC is not like the role of other mayors. And so that's the point that I was making in terms of saying that, you know what, she may be limited in what she can do. It's not to say she can't do anything. In fact, we end every show saying, do what you can from where you are with what you have. And you are a mayor, right? You have tools at your disposal, but are those tools enough, to be able to push back against the power of the president and Congress that is missing in action? Isaac.
Yeah, I think she's in a tough situation here. On one hand, she has to play to the field of Donald Trump and them, and they're telling her that, hey, MPD is going to run this operation, but we're sending in these people. On the other hand, she can't do but so much in getting frantic, and standing back and not looking poised and not like she's taking control of the situation, because she has voters to contend with, and people look at her, and so they're going to take how she's handling the situation, and that's how they're going to roll with it. I'm taking it like Trump rolled in here to save DC, and like it's an act, like he's still on TV or something, an action Hollywood movie or something.
Superman.
And then Bowser smiled, she waved and said, "Perfect. We'll just use them where we need them, like we're already doing." Now his big political stunt is basically, it's helping our agenda. So he wanted chaos, and she gave them a coordinated traffic control, basically, and neighborhood patrols. That's something they're already doing. So, he bought the stage, but I think she's writing the script. And that's how you turn that into a little bit of favor. So I think we give her grace in this moment, and she's going with Donald Trump saying MPD is going to run it. Okay, so we'll tell them what to do, because the National Guard is not equipped to be on street patrol, because they're not trained for that. They're trained for national disasters. They're not trained to be going and arresting people. They might get themselves in trouble. They might get themselves killed, because one thing we know about DC too, you ain't about to strong arm the people of DC either. So I think she's playing her cards right at this point.
And that's really one of my big concerns. Certainly, you saw me tango with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt the other day on a story that is of great importance, not just to the people of LA, but people across this country, parents across this country. There's a 15-year-old, a disabled student who was temporarily detained by ICE agents at Arleta High School, outside Arleta High School in LA. To your point, these federalized National Guard, they're not trained to do local policing. How worried are you, Al, that things may get a whole lot worse before they get better, especially considering that the president seems hell-bent on maintaining this presence, if not growing it, not just over the course of the next 30 days, but if Congress allows them, even longer than that?
This is very emotional for me, because I'm here in the district, and you got to understand, Dr. Nii-Quartelai, it's him partnering the National Guard with the Secret Service and with the FBI, and it's the neighborhoods that they are targeting. They are in Columbia Heights. They are in Southeast. They are in there exercising rights that are just not civil or human right based. And that's what concerns me. Now, after listening to Brother Wilson, okay, can I take back something of the heat that I had for the mayor? Maybe so. But, Brother Wilson, I think you're more seasoned in this space, so I'm going to give you that. But living here, walking out of my building and feeling the tension is like cutting butter with a butter knife. It's scary. When I walked by that 150 activated service individuals for the FBI and Secret Service, I was afraid. And that is his intent. And I feel like because that's his intent, to me, makes it very wrong. As a mayor of this district, even though you can play nice to get what you need, you also, as a Democrat candidate, you have to meet this type of force and meet this type of contention and this type of leadership with the same type of hardness, I think is the word I'm looking for, that they presented. And I just don't like the fact DC residents are ready and capable and are on call to step up if you call them to step up. And I think the pushback from DC is what got him having the National Guard here. We're tired here. We're exhausted. We don't like what's going on. And all you have to do as a mayor is to assemble us, align us, and tell us what we can do in order to temper this president's intrusion on the district.
Well, when we come forward, speaking of intrusion, I want to get your take on the Trump administration's calls for a comprehensive review of the Smithsonian. Anyone who is concerned about the First Amendment, anyone who is concerned about the threat of censorship, you need to hear this story. You need to hear this story. This is red flashing light. Red flashing light. This is yet another example, all in the same week, of the danger that we're in, the uncharted waters that we're in as a country. I'm going to tell you all about this story that everyone needs to know about. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward with Al Reynolds and Isaac Wilson.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least likely to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Notable journalists, industry leaders, lawmakers, change makers, tastemakers, and you working to build a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, and it's always a good time when I'm joined with my brothers Al Reynolds, pop culture and entertainment contributor, along with Isaac Wilson, the Isaac Wilson,
right,
strategist representing the people of South Carolina, particularly Florence County. South Carolina.
Dr. Nii-Quartelai, I don't think I like how you frame that. You frame me as the troublemaker and him as the sophisticated political pundit, and I'm on here shaking trees and causing problems.
There you go. There you go.
You shaking things up a bit. That's all. You shaking them up a little bit.
And he over there looking all proper and presidential and right. Done with you too.
It's all love. It's all love, at least between us. But what the Smithsonian is being asked to do is another matter. NPR reporting that the White House calls for a comprehensive review of not one, not two, not five, not six, but eight Smithsonian museums. The Trump administration sent a letter to the Smithsonian Institution just yesterday, requesting a comprehensive internal review of the 8 museums that with the aim of bringing the organization in line with President Trump's cultural directives ahead of the country's 250th anniversary celebration. And so you hear that and you think, okay, well, maybe it's not so bad. No. It's bad. The letter sets out a detailed list of materials that the museum needs to submit for the White House's appraisal, including grant-related documentation, inventories of permanent holdings, and visitor surveys. It also lays out a timeline by which the Trump administration expects this process to be completed, with specific 30, 75, and 120-day targets. This is censorship. This let's just call this what it is. It is censorship. The Smithsonian is, of course, led by Lonnie Bunch, who has said that they will collaborate constructively with the White House, Congress, and governing board of regents. But Al, I want to get your take on how alarming is this letter from the White House to the Smithsonian, and if they're successful with pulling this off with the Smithsonian, what does this mean for not just museums across the country, but public memory? What does it mean for the idea of American heritage through a wide lens?
Yeah, listen, let's start with the basics, which I think sometimes we escape. This is unconstitutional, all right? Anything that he felt like that there were federal funding to create, he feels like he has the ability and the right to go in there and change it. The Trump administration, I want everybody to be very clear. He's calling for a full Smithsonian review. All right. Where I'm from in Virginia, that's code for let's sanitize the stories that we don't like. All right. The Smithsonian doesn't just display objects. I want people to know that it is in charge of preserving narratives of the United States of America and its Constitution. So what does that mean? That means Harriet Tubman and slavery. That means Japanese American internment. That means Martin Luther King's civil rights. A comprehensive view doesn't smell like censorship. It's real life censorship that is got to be unconstitutional and legal. This isn't maintenance. It's cultural erasure dressed as bureaucracy. It to me, I look at it like I don't know about you guys, but my grandmother used to make quilts. If history was a quilt, this move aims to rip out the patches, to remove the actual fabric that created this country if it doesn't match its brand. This is why I'm mad. This is why I'm upset. This is why I want the mayor to be more shaking those trees and getting in there and causing some problems and deal with the aftermath with the citizens of DC. This is just to the core of everything that I have inside of me. I just feel like it's wrong, and it's making my blood pressure go up.
Well, I mean, certainly a lot of our blood pressure is going up. Isaac, in our remaining minute, the initiative aims to ensure alignment with the president's directives to celebrate American exceptionalism. To Al's point, removing divisive and partisan narratives and restore confidence in our shared cultural institutions. Is all of that MAGA talk for making Smithsonian exhibits more Confederate again?
Basically, That's exactly what it is, because he's not auditing for accuracy. He's auditing for agreement. This is about controlling the story and uncovering the truth about what he wants to do. Every museum that I've ever visited had complex stories. That's what America is. It's a melting pot of complex stories. Now, Trump's audit, it pretty much demands like a cheerleader history, not of scholars. We need people that know what they're talking about and know what these stories mean, and not just because someone likes a story that we put it in there. When federal officials are deciding what counts as American values, we stop discussing history and start scripting propaganda. And that's what Trump wants people to do. Right. So we got to stop this mess, and Trump has to stop this mess and tell the truth.
We'll have to leave it there. My thanks to both of my guests. Isaac Wilson, Democratic strategist from South Carolina. Also, Al Reynolds, our favorite pop culture and entertainment contributor.
Best light-skinned brother in America.
Until tonight, they might not invite me back.
I want to say thanks to the entire village. Helps us produce a more perfect union each and every day. Our executive producer, Tavis Smiley. Our sound engineer, Andy, brother Andy. Also, our show producers, Faraji and Art, as well as Journey. And each and every one of you are leaders, learners, and listeners. Remember, we curate this show each and every day with you in mind. We hope you've enjoyed what we have offered to you. Remember, don't panic, organize. Do what you can from where you are with what you have. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Corte, and you've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.